Hello, my name is Lynn. I am an emergency room nurse at the VA in Long Beach. Today I'm going to be speaking to you about the importance of effective communication in the workplace, specifically in the emergency room. Now, do you know the difference between communication and effective communication? Well, communication is the process of sharing information, thoughts, and feelings between people through speaking, writing, body language, gestures. Now, effective communication is a communication between two or more persons where the intended message is successfully delivered, received, and understood by the listener. And it includes not just the way you say it, but covers other skills such as nonverbal communication, the ability to understand your emotions as well as the person you are speaking to. Engaging listening and speaking assertively is all part of effective communication. Now, effective communication does not happen overnight, and the skills has to be developed over time by practice. Now, my husband is an accounting manager, and he manages over 20 accounting staff members. He attends a organization called Toastmasters International, where he attends twice a month to go to meetings to learn how to speak in front of people, learn how to become a confident and strong leader, and they give him tips and tricks to help him develop communication skills in order to effectively communicate with his team to be a successful manager. What are the skills of effective communication? Well, that includes active listening, nonverbal communication, asking questions, being clear, articulate, and concise when you speak, clarifying, summarizing, being empathetic to the listener, providing feedback when you speak, and you have to develop trust and rapport with the listener are all part of effective communication. Now, common barriers to effective communications for the patient includes environmental items such as noise, people walking in and out of the room all the time, their lack of control over their emotions, their fear, their anxiety related to being hospitalized, and their inability to explain their feelings, or if there's someone in the room, they just don't want to express, their fear, and so that prevents for them to effectively communicate with the nurse. Now, barriers from the nurse's standpoint includes lack of time or support. You have 4 patients you're caring for, and you're running in and out of the room, barely have any time to speak to the patient. So high workload, staff conflicts with your charge nurse are all barriers from the nurse's standpoint. Now, nurses also have fear and anxiety relating, causing the patient distress by talking about their symptoms, and so they don't want to say anything because they're afraid that the patient might be upset. And lack of skills or strategies to react to the emotions that the patient might express also is a barrier for nurses to effectively communicate. Now, effective communication in a unit such as the ED enables the employees to connect with each other, improve teamwork, increases morale, problem solving, and if we all work and communicate together, that will help improve the unit overall. Now, to be a successful nurse, excellent communication skills are required because it allows us to connect with our patients, help build relationships, and to be able to provide a high level of care for our patients. Effective communication plays an instrumental role in the patient's entire healthcare experience, from the time they check in at the front to the time they are discharged or to admission. And nurses are responsible for relaying information to those individuals, Therefore, they have to be able to communicate effectively, especially during periods of intense stress, such as a code in the emergency room where someone is coding, doctors are yelling orders left and right, you're asked to give medicine, and if you're not able to communicate that well with the doctors, errors can occur where as to who did what, and you have to be able to articulate very well with the team during a code. Now, written communication is also very important for nurses because we document all day long. We type notes, we do progress notes, and if we are not able to communicate through written communication in our charting, that would create a loophole in the care of the patient because no one would know what you've done for the patient or what needs to be done for the patient. Now, good communication between nurses and patients have many benefits. It contributes to the patient's well-being, and the patients who feels like they're being cared for, they're receiving the care, are more likely to express their feelings or symptoms, such as a psychiatric patient who comes in, and if they feel that there's no rapport between the nurses and himself, he would not express his feelings, such as suicidal ideations. So therapeutic communication is also part of effective communication that would allow patients to express their feelings more. Communication benefits of nurses when they have to communicate with their managers, their co-workers, to increase morale. Managers tend to criticize without effectively communicating to the nurses. So when there is effective communication, it increases morale, decreases job, people leaving their job, and increases job satisfaction. So poor communication results in increased stress, lower morale, and people leaving the units left and right. Other effective communication benefits would include productivity increases, where nurses are able to care for more patients during a shift. It decreases errors, helps employees manage, and managers form a highly effective team. The employees are able to trust each other more, reduces unnecessary stress, competition between the employees. Managers are able to correct employees' mistakes and create a less hostile environment if they're able to communicate with the employees better. And the failure to communicate effectively in the workplace would cause confusion among the employees and causing employees to leave. Now, interesting study from the Journal of Patient Safety says in 2013, as many as 400,000 people die each year from preventable medical errors, representing about third leading cause of death in the U.S. Deaths is due to medical errors. The Joint Commission says that 80% involves miscommunication. And communication was one of the top 3 leading causes of sentinel events in the healthcare industry. Now, in the ED, communication breakdown is one of the leading cause of medical errors, including medication error admin, because doctors and nurses do not communicate with each other as to what the orders are and what the nurses has done for the patient. And so increases in nursing communication can lessen the errors and make a difference and create a positive outcome for the patient. Now, another important aspect of effective communication is listening. You have to be able to listen as well as speak. So by listening, nurses can be attentive to the needs of the patient and integrate care according to the patient's needs, and not just hearing what they, speaking to them. They have to listen. So in summary, now effective communication is a learning process. It's not something that you know how to do as soon as you graduate nursing school. It's a progress that evolves, and in order to be effective, you have to practice. Now, errors occur when nurses do not communicate with each other, and that's why we have huddles. We have shift huddles that we share patients' information at shift change, and that is a communication process that has been proven to be effective for patient care. Skills such as active listening, good nonverbal communication, asking questions, being clear, articulate and concise with what you speak, providing feedback, developing trust and rapport with the patients. All of this will lessen medical errors and make a difference to the patient's well-being as we care for the patient. So thank you so much for listening. I wish you a very Merry Christmas, and communication in the workplace has been an amazing class for me, and I wish you the best in 2018. Thank you so much.